folks, and welcome to another episode of the Fudge Shired podcast with DP. I am your host, Jay Simino, aka Despop or DP for short, and as always, my show focuses on awesome accounts that please my PTSD-riddled brain and move me. Sometimes it's politics, sometimes it's humor, or just inspiration that moves me to clip these posts and showcase them as a thank you to those accounts. So please, follow all unless stated otherwise, as in, don't follow Dan Bongino. He's still a dick. Also, don't follow this loser. I honestly don't even know who this is. I don't recall ever having an issue with him. I saw this post pop up on my feed today and appreciated it, but upon trying to share it, I could not. Why? Because he blocked me. Dude's got 1.4 million followers and he's blocking a nobody. I don't think I've even broken 2,200 yet. I'm assuming he's a Bongino Army faggot because this seems to be their MO. Oh well. Sorry if I offended you, Sonovich, but with all due respect, go blow your dad, bro. And Elon. What the actual shit with this system of yours? Why should I see posts in my feed from people that have blocked me? Shouldn't that automatically shield me from their bullshit? Why should I have to block them in order to avoid seeing their posts? As your team continuously fucks up your app with their mind-boggling tweaks to the algo, maybe see if you can fix that part. If I block someone, my shit should never show in their feed and vice versa. Get on that, man. Now it's time to rage with DP. I saw this yesterday and it put me over the edge. Check it out.
Oh, you fucking loser! United States Postal Service.
Fuck the United States Post Office. Legit. The past couple weeks have almost driven me to go postal just in my dealings with these fucks. 42 people in line a few weeks ago. Yes, someone actually counted out loud in anger that day as there were 5 service counters, 4 of them manned by employees. 42 people in line, and 3 of the 4 closed their windows for breaks at the same time, 2 days before Christmas, leaving only 1 employee to handle the entire line, which was only growing by the minute. And that employee, I'm convinced, took the short bus back in the day. These people don't give a fuck. They're coddled union do-nothings and losers. And I'm not making this up, folks. I have some experience with these assholes. How? Well, a long time ago, mid-90s to be exact, I had an uncle, may he rest in peace. And that uncle signed up to take the postal exam. His wife already worked there, and he was out of a job at the time. There were thousands that signed up for this test being given out, a few hundred people at a time, and I think he had like a social anxiety thing or something and didn't want to take the test alone in a hall filled with hundreds of people. It was a very long test, so he begged me to sign up. I had no interest. I was 18-ish, but already knew my goal was to follow my dad and stepmom and uncles in law enforcement. The problem was I had to be 21, so I had some time to kill. I was weighing taking courses or the military when the post office popped up. My uncle was very serious about it and had a bunch of study and practice test materials. I think he barely scored above 70 while I aced it. My aunt, who was already employed by the USPS, I think she waited 3 years after her test for the call. I was called in under a month because I scored so high. So I entertained the call and went in for training, which was paid for, and when I saw that check at 18, only having made minimum wage to that point, I was all in. So I took the job. Well, my 3rd day in, I'm working at this desk running a machine that was very loud. So loud that headphones with music or listening to talk radio was encouraged just to drown it out. Towards the end of my shift, the supervisor comes over to me, and in order to address me, she's got to push this big red button which shuts down my machine because it's impossible to talk over the noise. So she bangs the button with full force and says something to me. I didn't know what it was because I still had the headphones blasting, but I thought I was in trouble because of the look on her face, the eyes, the gritting teeth. So I took the headphones down and said, "Sorry, ma'am, but I didn't hear you. Did I mess something up?" And she says, "I said staying till excused." She yelled it with the same aggressive look on her face. I honestly didn't know what that meant in the moment, even though it was pretty self-explanatory. My former bosses would often say they need me to stay a few extra hours without being cunts about it. So as a confused young 18 to 19-year-old, I said, "I don't know what that means." And she turned back to me and said just as aggressively, "It means when I feel like letting you go, I'll let you go." And I paused and said to myself, this is why people take guns into this place. Remember going postal? All the original mass shooters always came out of the post office back in the day. So much so that the phrase was coined, going postal. I just couldn't understand the need to say it in the way she did. And I have trouble putting into words exactly how she did it to truly make you feel that moment. Well, a few months later, Christmas comes around and we get this letter that says all days off are canceled for the entire month with required 16-hour work shifts. We only got Christmas Day off. Well, a couple of years later, I get my acceptance letter around November time for the police academy, which was starting on December 23rd. I still remember the date. And I told no one at work. Well, December 1st rolls around and that same twat supervisor is going down the row of desks, banging on each individual red button stopper thingy up in front of me with that same look on her face. She's addressing each employee individually while handing out the no days off Christmas season letter. Well, she gets to me, slams the button, hands me the letter, and screams, "Stay until excused!" So I reached into my back pocket and I hand her a copy of my academy letter. And I respond, "Actually, I'm not only going home on time tonight, I'm not coming back tomorrow. Do something." And within minutes, the head honcho and second in command of the entire branch come up to me and they beg me to stay at least until the 23rd. And they're so sorry for my boss's behavior and blah, blah, blah. I told them to fuck off. Now, pivoting a little but still related, some of you may know that I've been trying to start a small personalized swag business, just shirts and hats and mugs. I just need a few dollars a month to pad my pension. Actually, perfect time for some branding. How you doing? This is actually my LEO inspired mug. So, yep. How you doing? $10 plus shipping, $15 if it's personalized. Anyway, ahem. Well, I got a post office secret to tell you related to that. One thing I learned at the post office was as a customer, you should never mark any package fragile. They hate it and purposely mishandle anything marked fragile, and I have proof. After sending out several mugs without issue, the first time I ever marked fragile on one was last week. Although I did mark it fragile. They know what the fuck it means. Guess what happens? Yep, it arrives broken. This was just yesterday. So far, the only mug I have sent that arrived busted was the only one I marked fragile. How you like them apples? So fuck the post office and everyone involved. Go private, UPS, or any other. I am. I should have known from back then and learned my lesson. Alas, I didn't. On this segment of Dumb Cops.
Picture to make sure it's you. We're not sure.
Okay.
Is that your account?
I refuse to answer questions without my lawyer present, so I really don't know how to answer that question
Okay.
either.
Well, like I said, you're not
This
going
is
to
freedom
jail.
of speech. This is America, right?
And
We're
I-
veteran.
And I agree with you 100%.
All
We're
right.
just trying to see if it's you, because we're not talking to the right person. We want to go see who the right person
Okay,
is.
how can I help you?
So pretty much it's just a statement that was made as far as,
Verbatim, it says the guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians, tried to shut down a theater for showing a movie that hurt his feelings, and refuses to stand up for the LGBTQ community in any way. Even leaves the room when they vote and on related matters. Wants you to know that you're all welcome. Clown face, clown face, clown face. 3 days ago.
Is it or no? If it was you?
I'm not going to answer whether that's me or not.
Okay.
The concerning part, and not concerning for the person who's posting it, what we're just trying to prevent is somebody else getting agitated or agreeing with the statement. We're not saying it's true or not.
Understood.
That guy who consistently calls for the death of all Palestinians, that can probably incite somebody to do something radical. That's all we're here to talk about, and we wanted to get your side of it. Was you that posted that?
Honestly, guys, go fuck yourself. If you don't have the balls to stand up to your mayor, transfer out to another agency or quit altogether. Show some backbone. Your daily reminder that I hope every Paula and white liberal female gets the world they want because white men bad or something.
Just so fast.
China was that?
Hey, Pam Bondi, I want Don Lemon or nothing at all. Fuck your press announcements. This skank, although fat as fuck, is small potatoes. Now pivoting to the fun stuff. Anyone else ever look at something and wonder, could I put my dick in that? Asking for a friend, by the way. Todd of Mischief says, name the band. I named it 4 Guys, 1 Cup. One of my faves, Roberta Peters, always makes it better. Fuck Dan Bongino. Here's a random foot from Mel for those of you freaks into that. She got a little boo-boo right there, though. Send flowers. Crazy Cajun girl with today's holiday list. Holidays for Thursday, January 22nd, 2026. Answer Your Cat's Question Day, observed annually on January 22nd. Celebration of Life Day, observed annually also on January 22nd. Clashing Clothes Day, Come In From the Cold Day. Dance of the Seven Veils Day. That's the day that honors the hooah that did a striptease in exchange for the head of John the Baptist. National Blondie Brownie Day, National Hot Sauce Day, National Polka Dot Day. Think I'm going to have some buffalo wings tonight. How you doing? Now it's time for We Was Kangs.
What do you mean, you people?
I told the customer to send proof of income. Show Melvin. This is what he sent. For proof of income.
That's crazy.
You got it. Your car.
And this one got his face in it.
Wow.
Brother brought proof of income. And after We Was Kangs, it's only proper to showcase white people.
Oh my God, he's submarine.
PTSD has brought me to some dark places, folks, and in those places, I started to notice things that never meant anything to me before. Visuals became something different to me. To some, it might sound pansy-esque, but if it worked, who gives a shit? Whatever it takes. Stop, breathe, survive. Whether it's art, music, or poetry. My favorite thing to do on this platform is to showcase my struggle, which I do with a segment called Survive with DP that I like to put out on Sundays when I'm rested and clear-headed right after Sabbath. And with that, today's power image of the day comes from my Twitter OGs, Chrissy at Cyanide and Sin, followed by another favorite, your daily dopamine, with the power post of the day. Flowers grow back even after they are stepped on, and so will you. Thank you, awesome ladies, for both bangers. Some hashtag science for y'all from Leslie. If a man remembers the color of your eyes after your first date, you've got small titties. Trust the science, folks. Want to see a guy who gets pegged by his lady often? Check it out. Totally pulled his man card. So apparently, according to Truth Hurts, the clit is inside the head. Fellas, don't try to finger blast your woman's skull. That would unalive them. Besides, everyone knows the clit doesn't exist, and henceforth will never be found. The word of the day comes from Spaz.
Okay, who wants to taste it and who wants to smell it?
So we began with some post office secrets, and now it's time for some 5-0 insider knowledge. The cops here absolutely know that car is flipped. I'll let you in on a little secret. Every cop loves the chase. The adrenaline dump is unmatched in police work, which is why high-speed chases often end in a major ass beating, because the adrenaline doesn't wear off instantaneously. It's often not a sign of a brutal cop, just a human cop. What do cops hate more than anything? Taking an accident report. They knew the car rolled. They just pretended like he got away and continued on past it. Let state police handle it now. Fuck that. And this is for all you, but why don't they shoot out the tires? But why did the cop stand in front of the vehicle? But her wheels were turned, blah, blah, blah. This vid being tossed around now is from like 5 years ago. Cops have been hit and too many times killed in these situations. The ICE officer fired at that threat in Minnesota because we've learned from our mistakes. In fact, that officer was already hit and dragged in a prior incident. He learned his lesson and henceforth brained that peaceful protester. Now New York City hospitals are treating injured NYPD officers like shit. Probably the same people that are all pro law enforcement every J6th. They're mad at the feds but treat the locals like shit. You do not hate the medical professionals enough, folks. They truly suck. Yeah, I said it. As if you needed COVID to prove it to you. And we'll end with today's final call. On this date in 2008, another cop not added to the official 9/11 death count, Detective William Holfester, passed due to cancer contracted from the WTC recovery efforts. Also on this date in 1931, John Skinny Brame of Fresno PD in California was shot and killed by a suspect who had killed Detective Frank Campbell a week earlier. Deputy Sheriff John O'Leary also died after becoming ill during the long search for the suspect. Thank all for their service. And we'll finish with a timeline cleanse from Blondie's. Later, bitches.
Get him, Jay.
I'm not a cop.
You got DP'd.